This is our divine line, the healing circle. And as we are connecting with the divine light, to be lighthearted and uplifted, today we are going to work with our emotional body first. White shimmering light comes from the universal oneness, like a waterfall, flowing through every single fiber of our body, every single brain cell, eyes, nose, mouth, throat, and neck. Take from this nurturing and cleansing white sparkling light vibration. So do our shoulders, arms, hands, as it floats out of our fingertips, along the spine and muscle structure, into the heart and chest, opening both wide, into the solar plexus to make it more radiant, into the whole digestive system, into the hips, legs, knees, calves, feet, and through the feet into the ground like roots. All old non-supportive energies and beliefs can be swept away into Mother Earth for recycling, where just a glistening frequency of soul and white light prevails. And I would like us to envision now the beautiful oceans like you see in the background. The beautiful beach, wonderful clear waters. And we are stepping now into those waters, first with our toes and feet, and the waters are warm and just have the right temperature, just nice enough, like we don't feel hot or cold, just right. As we are going deeper and deeper into the waters, we're realizing that the waters can hold us because it's salt water, and we're laying gently back and letting ourselves float. While we are floating, we are totally engulfed still with white sparkling light and white shimmering diamond light. Diamond light with many color rainbows in the white light. Translucent, crystal clean and clear light, shimmering in all colors of the rainbow, and sparkles going exactly into our body where they're needed. Nothing will disrupt us as we're totally relaxing, easily and naturally and gracefully, and trusting the waters of this planet, of this ocean, to carry us, to let us float. Like in a womb, only that the sun shines on us. And as we are floating, the water permeates our cells, as the light permeates our cells as well. And every single cell in our body is washed clean. And we might see dark energies like an oily, greasy film emanating out of our bodies, or anything which doesn't belong comes out, wash clean every single cell, whether it's a dis-ease, tendency starting of dis-ease, or emotional dis-ease, or any kind of feeling of despair, any kind of feeling of pain, any kind of feeling of loneliness, any kind of feeling of frustration or anger can naturally and easily float out of our system, and we can feel it and sense it floating out. And as it's flushed out of our system, the white shimmering light, the sparkling light, transmutes and transforms all that which is flushed out with divine grace. As we are willing to open ourselves up to the deepest, also deepest energies, we are opening up to receive this glory of cleansing. The white lighting around us will take care of that which we excluded out of our system, excluded out of our energy system, or physical bodies, or emotional bodies, or spirit bodies. No more self-doubt, no more dis-ease, no more disgrace, no more unease in any kind of shape or form can hold us back in our lives. As we're coming into our full power and we're just letting go and just letting float away and just letting go of that which is not us. Any kind of projections or any kind of comparison to others in the world, wishes and wants can all leave us as we are conjoining in this divine contentment of bliss, being in oneness, being connected to all there is on the higher realms, being totally protected by beings of the higher order as we are allowing ourselves to let go and be cleansed and cleared. Love and light shining bright in our bodies and on this side. Wherever we are, here is our physical bodies, or in our emotional bodies, or in our mental bodies, or in our spirit bodies. As we are inviting now in guardians and guiding ones and white lighter beings of the highest order to insist and assist us in the purging. They insist in helping us if we allow it. And the first one who are pushing forward are dragon beings who fold over us their protective wings and burn all around us that greasy stuff, that negative stuff, that negative painful stuff which leaked out of our system to be transmuted and transformed and burned off. Water dragons nudge our back heart chakras open as we are laying and floating in their waters. Other dragons are circling in and bringing a protective layer of fire around us. But then there are other beings who insist now that we are opening up to what we really are. These are our higher selves demanding to be acknowledged, demanding to coming in through this experience, also to this worldly duality experience. So let us open up to our own higher selves Make us white, without filters, letting the divine in completely. And as light out of a church, the light will permeate our body and then shine brightly through all our pores, all our cells, and all cells in the body, the physical cells and the emotional selves and the thought patterns which we believe we are, all that is cleared and cleansed in the matrix of this reality. And our selves, our higher selves, take over completely, not the little ego self which we need for our daily chores, but the higher self, the oneness self, the self of the divine expression. And as we know, we are protected in this moment to do just that. We are floating. And if you have a hard time letting go, just say, I'm allowing myself to feel safe now. I'm allowing myself to let go. I'm allowing myself to let myself go. I'm allowing myself to merge with just light. And you might feel yourself resolving into limitlessness, merging with the ocean as if you are one drop of the big, huge ocean. And when you're sensing this oneness with the ocean, you will also sense the oneness with the universe, this galaxy. And as this is only one galaxy and there are many galaxies, you are also feeling and sensing the oneness with so many galaxies. And you might feel that actually those galaxies are in you, in your body. And you might feel that in your head, which you perceived your head, is the thought which creates form and reality of oneness, the source of which everything emanates. The first think, the first thought, the first word. Everything else can go. And as you're floating and expand, no limit exists. And here in the circle, we are feeling each other completely. And we are helping each other to expel any kind of pain or suffering. Clapping each other on the shoulder and saying, you are a beautiful being indeed. You are a holy being indeed. You are a space holder of light indeed. You are glory, a manifestation of God's source indeed. Your deeds speak of light. Your presence speaks of light. Your heart speaks of love. And as the dragons have our 6, our backs, and protecting from here on out our back door of the heart, we can really open up to what we really are. And it is easy to float. For this once, we do not have to be grounded. For this once, we don't have to do anything. For this once, we just have to be and accept. For this once, we just give permission to receive. And in the vastness of oneness, there are no boundaries. And beyond sisterly and brotherly love, we experience the love of the All One. We can feel the pulsating of the all oneness of love in our hearts and minds and body and spirit. Joy trickles in from the divine order. Bliss trickles in from the divine order. And if we cannot still give us over to the bliss and oneness, we will be tickled in all the places where we holding on to old things. We might feel an itch which needs scratching. Remind you that scratching helps to eliminate old patterns in the physical form. Brilliant droplets of light rain onto us from above. With every single drop which hits our body is more energized. Whether it's the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, or the spirit body, every single layer of us gets energized. All hopelessness long gone. All pain long gone. For once we are allowed to just let it all go. No responsibilities at this moment. No needs at this moment. All needs are fulfilled. And that's a promise. Spirit wants you to understand that Spirit makes you a promise. You will have. There is no need. You are stepping into a time and space reality where you do not have any needs. All needs are met before you can even think about them. That's the place where you're stepping in right now. As I'm shown a gateway, where it's even lighter and brighter than in the ocean, where the sun is shining onto the ocean and onto our body, and we are feeling as part of the ocean of the universe. But there is one more gateway we go through. And behind this gateway is even more light. It is a gateway in reality to absolute oneness. Everything is taken care of. No needs, no wants, no wishes, ultimate contentment, bliss. The Buddhists call this nothingness and everything nirvana. As we're floating in this nirvana of universal oneness, we can always remember this feeling and anchoring this sense of contentment in our physical form. So I'm asking you now to give this feeling, this sense of floating bliss, a symbol. Whatever symbol you get, it's yours to call in through that gateway of that symbol, the bliss of oneness. And to make reality easier, today as gifts, we have the Kachinas or Kachinas, the ones who deal with the elements on this earth, water elements, earth element, spirit elements, and extraterrestrial elements, DNA elements, star people elements in our DNA will be guarded and guided by the Kachinas, who are starting to perform a dance around us right now for protection and activation. You might hear their song. It might sound familiar to you, or it might sound totally foreign. Whatever it is, let them sing or dance around you, knowing that an activation in your DNA is happening at this moment in time. And now join and dancing in the spheres, the guardians and guiding ones, and gatekeepers of wisdom, dolphins and whales, jumping and swimming, not only in the water, but also in the air, in the ether. And they are nudging your bodies as you're getting a healing. The dolphins might push their noses against parts of your physical, emotional, or spiritual form. And the whales might swallow you whole, but not to digest you, but so that you can be linked and digest wisdom, which you have now access to, as they are the wisdom keepers of part of the universe. They have a memory energy library and are linked up to a lot of Akashic records of many systems, solar systems, not just planets. And you might hear tones in your mind's eye. The song of whales, sounding forlorn, but actually calling in the connective vibration from this universe into a spot. Whales are right now sounding out a key tone for you. And this key tone or key tones is a vibration range which you need right now. In this vibration range, that's where you're uplifted to. Even if it should be a darker sound or a lower sound, it's still an uplift. So make no mistake, whatever tone you're given, this vibration range will resonate with your body DNA. And it will help you also sing in your day, being joyful, being playful. Like singing in the rain instead of saying, oh my God, I need to go and run for cover. Because that's the synonym, what is going to happen in the upcoming time. A lot of people will run for cover, but you can sing in the rain, in whatever rains down on us, because the vibration will be heightening as you can absorb from your environment that what you need, transmuting and transforming the need into contentment and bliss. All what you need is already given to you. You just don't know it yet. And as we are opening ourselves now up for the deepest and the highest high of frequency, we are expanding even a little bit more. Our whole being pulsates. And our divine mission is crystal clean and clear. Being a forerunner and a torchbearer, forging a path for others to follow. While still being here on earth and doing our daily dues. Allowing ourselves to be a shining, brilliant light in the darkness. Emanating hope and purpose. Purpose to be a path and a stepping stone to oneness. And being a stepping tone as well. The tone of our voices, the speech, the speak, the words, will be uplifting our environment if we use it right. Words are power, frequencies. And with these frequencies, we shift matter. As we are opening ourselves a little bit further, like a flower in the circle, after we have had our own healing and restructuring right now, we call into our circle all those souls on our list, and also others who need healing on this planet. I'm calling in now all those to bathe in the waters of life who have cancer, who eat themselves up from the inside out. And we are inviting them to let that go and to restructure into perfect alignment of body. Herewith, I give myself permission to be healed, and all cells are functioning normal. I give up all energies of cancer. I give up all energy frequencies of abnormal cell growth. I do not need those anymore. And then let them wash away in the universal oneness of the ocean of the universe, cleansing and clearing every single cell. And tumors shrink easily and naturally. As we think about it, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The more you give permission, without doubt, the faster the healing process will go. And we are tying up this healing structural reconstruction in the bodies of cancer patients or people who have post-cancer complications. By anchoring in them this flow of the living waters of oneness, cleansing and clearing all thoughts and beliefs which led to these self-eating or uncontrolled multiplying selves and cells. As we are now calling in all people of grieving, families, grief which can be so low vibrational, and we're letting them float in our midst, showering them with hugs and assurances that divine light and love is everlasting, and that nothing is ever, ever lost in the universe. Nothing falls out of God's creation, and there is no severance, no true severance. There's only a sense of disconnect, which is not real. It is just an artificial disconnect of the mind and emotional body, but not of soul. And so we invite all grieving people on this planet to float here in the universal oneness. And as you're giving yourself over to float, into the universal oneness, you can open your hearts and minds to connect with the ones you love, realizing they are always only a feel and a thought away. True soul connections will never be disrupted, really. And so the grief can seep out like a slimy energy out of their bodies and minds and spirit, making room for shining, brilliant light of connectiveness, of all souls, of oneness. And so we're making them aware of all the strings and strands which they come out of their hearts and out of their soul sparks, their third eye centers, their thalamus organ in the brain. And out of that midbrain, all the brilliant strands go in all directions, up and down and left and right, connecting in spirit. And all the strings and strands of the heart going up and down and left and right, connecting people who need to be connected to. Same with the solar plexus. We're calling in all the strings and strands which connect us to well-meaning beings, spirits, and humans and animals. And as these strings and strands are visible now to those in grieving processes, we can let them admire those connective strands while we are calling in all people who feel exhausted and overwhelmed. And stepping into the oceans, these beautiful oceans, is like stepping into the living waters of eternity. And whenever you feel a need to drink of the living waters to energize, a golden cup will appear and you can have a sip of the living waters of the living wells. While you're floating in time and space, in the waters of the oceans of the universe. Just perfectly warm to the temperature you need. And as you're drinking the living well water, you feel even more connected to the divine design, trusting the divine plan you are firmly interwoven in. And all the energy holds, which lifetimes after lifetimes have been creating, energy holes of bad experiences, energy holes of betrayals, energy holes of sadness, angers, and frustrations. They can all disappear as they're smoothed out from the inside out through the living waters of the God Source well. As you're drinking from the cup of enlightenment, of oneness, of the living waters, of belief in oneness. All your energy holes can be smoothed over And your aura is strengthened. Your energy field is strengthened. Your body is strengthened. All your energy forms and bodies are strengthened by this oneness source, living waters, given you by the golden cup. However these waters taste for you, they will rejuvenate and regenerate you every time you think of a golden cup with shimmering, glistening water inside. Water of life. And whenever you virtually drink from the water of life, you will feel whole and one again. Reminding yourself of this moment in time and space where you are floating in oneness. And now we're calling in all those who are confused because of dis-ease. People with brain tumors or Alzheimer's or any kind of dysfunction of biochemical components in the brain, addictions, anybody who is confused, hopeless, directionless because of a brain condition are called into the circle. And as these people floating in this vast, beautiful ocean of oneness, tiny little microbial beings appear like little light wiggle worms and wiggling themselves into the brains to cleanse and clear and put to right biochemical disbalances, activating through pumping stimulus, Alzheimer areas in the brain where cells were deadened, to give them a head start to function again, almost like little nanites repairing continuously and bringing to balance in the brain, which doesn't function right. These light nanites will continue their work as much as karmically allowed in every single individual, including the ones in our circle. Your scalps might tingle. Your nerves might tingle in your head. Or you might see light flashes. That's all okay. As love and light shines bright in this body and on this side, in every single one we called in. Everyone who allows themselves to participate in this circle and in this meditation can allow the little light nanites doing their work. Bringing sharpness and clarity in through the people's minds and brains. And now we're calling in all the people who had traumatic experiences after injections and reverse and experience or reactions after injections. All those who were traumatized by injections are welcome now in our circle. As the needles will not permeate the skins anymore and will be rejected, as their skins will create barriers. And where needles will unwillingly inject into the body, the skin and tissue will work to reject and bring out of the skin these toxins. And here come the little nanites again, billions and billions and billions of tiny little droplets of light, wiggling like little wiggle worms into the bodies of those who need to inject toxins, but are so overwhelmed by the toxic reactions of their bodies that they feel they are going to die anytime soon. But it's not necessarily so. With the help of the light, if they allow it, the little tiny light worms, nanite beings of light, will set to right that which has been destroyed easily and naturally, one cell at a time, and set to rights the body to its best original function, designed by the divine plan, by the divine creator, by the divine oneness. And no force has a right to destroy this. Matter of fact, as this is a forerunner and torchbearer experiences to create and co-create against destruction, it is co-creation. And we here, right now, this moment, co-create with the divine plan in the powerful force of oneness. Create, not destroy. You will always be aware of dark forces because they will look to destroy rather than to create and transmute and transform into new and better, but destroy and being destructive. Here in our circle, we enliven, reconnect, uplink, rejoin, and rejoice with the divine creator plan. And as we are a sample circle, now beings from other cultures in the galaxies are allowed to join, to learn, change their ways, follow the path of co-creation with the original divine plan. As in this particular cycle, God Source breathes us in back home to oneness, to recreate oneness, recreate bliss, calling us home out of the experience of duality. As we are calling in now all beings on this planet who want to get rid of duality for oneness. Having a taste of the wonders of oneness and bliss. As we are now allowing ourselves to be wide and expanding around the globe, our energy fields expand multifold around the globe. Wherever is water, there are we. All tiny particles of our energy bodies permeate any waters with the bliss of the divine oneness. Our energy bodies are carriers now of the divine light. With every touch will be an imprint of the divine oneness. These gentle touches of energy will create a domino effect, a perpetuum mobile of energy around this planet. First in the spiritual world, in the spirit body, in the ether body, then in the thought forms, and then in the emotional world. And last and least, in the physical world, in the physical bodies. Getting ready to shift from the third to the fourth or fifth dimension. First in spirit, then in thought, then in the emotional field, and later in the physical form. This is a time of resurrection of the light, and each and every one who wants to carry it. The symbol of the grace given is that of a white and gold swan. Whenever you see a golden swan in your mind's eye or a white shimmering golden swan, God's grace is given. As you're floating like a swan on the waters of the divine. Connected and mated forever with the divine oneness. One more time, corrections are made in your bodies and in everyone else's body on this planet. Every human and not human being on this planet has a chance now to call in change of the divine order. As Mother Earth holds this planet energetically with wide arms, embracing, giving, nurturing. The divine oneness showers the grace right now. And in this grace we bloom. All our chakras are wide open, front and back. And as we are connecting even further and higher up in the dimensions in which we dwell already in spirit, gateways are opening one after another, further and higher up. And a tunnel of light is established strong all the way from the divine oneness to the bottom of our feet and into Mother Earth. As we are floating in time and space, we are also firmly on the ground. And our existence can float free, full of creation, ideas, and purpose on all our levels of existence. As we're expanding our beautiful light one more time around the planet and greeting all beings, plants, animals, humans, and beings out of this world who are dwelling in the next door dimensions. Thank you for conjoining in our circle today. This portal gateway of light will stay open around us every single day. Even if other forces might try to sting us or provoke us, the light is so strong that nothing can come through. You are protected from polarity to oneness. And with that, I'm closing our circle with gratefulness. For the divine plan, I can trust. For the divine light, I can give myself over. For my divine existence, making a difference every day. Love and light on your path.